Oh boy. Alright, before I begin, I just want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaka Dash. Double honor to the head apostles and the elders of great millstone who taught me this truth, along with the sincere brethren also laboring in his work, and to the believers, to you will say Shalom. Alright. So this lesson I got queued up right here, man. It's pretty much dealing with the folly and the ignorance of our people. Okay, the leaders, the so-called leaders of the so-called black community, and in which this guy T.I. and Killer Mike have been put on the podium to be an activist or someone who you people look up to be so-called leaders, as I just said. And I attempt to expose to you, man, how off our people are. And all the answers are in the scriptures. Everything that you need to know about oppression, all right, why you being treated the way you being treated, why you can't seem to get ahead is all in the scriptures. And you people fail to listen to the scriptures. You fail to listen to the scriptures, you're not going to find any other answer outside of the scriptures. And that's how powerful this book is, right? Which is known as the comforter. You people, you are looking for a comforter, but you don't have it. You don't know what they do. You're looking for answers. The answers is in the scriptures, but you want to listen to niggas like this, niggas like T.I. I'm going to play this folly and let you hear what he's saying. And then we're going to back it up with scriptures. Pretty much confound him with the scriptures. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. But before I play this video, I'll read this script. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 1. So I return and consider all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold the tears of such as were oppressed. Ain't you been oppressed? And they had no comforter, meaning they had no answers. And on the side of the oppressors there was power. All right, the side of your oppressors, the so-called white man, what? There was power, but they had no comforter. And so this is what the Bible is dealing with. It's dealing with comforting our people if they will return. But you people fail to return to your heritage and to the fact that you are Israelites. All right, you still want to call yourself blacks, African Americans. And doing that, you're gonna always be lost. You're always gonna be lost. And so we have the comfort, we have the answers according to the scriptures, which were given to us by the Most High through his beloved Son Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh by Yahweh Shai gave us the answers to know what is going on. So without further ado, I'm gonna play this real quick, and then we're gonna get some answers.
Earlier tonight, along with Mayor Keith,
I'm gonna show you how destroyed these people are.
Lands Bottom, she was very strategic before she came out with the press conference about who she wanted there and the messaging that she wanted to get across. And therefore, she brought in Atlanta natives, rapper T.I., and also Killer Mike, both of these men, businessmen in our communities as well, in the place where they were born and raised. Let's listen now to that sound from earlier from T.I. and Killer Mike.
Before I let him play, let me get this script. Isaiah 9:16, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. So the people that you are listening to, like Killer Mike and T.I., they're leading you to be destroyed because they don't have the answers. I'm going to play it, then we're going to get some more scripts.
It's the place where people like me, Killer Mike, other artists, creatives, other people who come from our culture, and other people who rise up out of the wreckage of the struggle that we all experience just by being born a certain color in this country. But Atlanta is a place where we can set an example of prosperity, and we've done that for generations. People like Dr. King, Maynard Jackson, Ambassador Young have paved the way for us.
And you see who he said paved the way for him, right? Martin Luther King and various other characters, all right, activists. And these people have did more damage to you psychologically than you can imagine. These people did more damage to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans than you can imagine, man. They have kept you in that box of trying to be equal with your oppressor, all right? The civil rights movement was something that was pushed to, to get you to qualify for equal rights. No, you're supposed to be trying to overthrow the so-called white man, and that's what the scripture is all about. All right. So Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. All right. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I would also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. And that's what's happening. Okay. In the time past, all right, once we had rulership of the earth, we forgot the law of the Most High. So what did he do? He turned us over into the hands of our enemies. You see? And this is where we at right now. And he took away our heritage from us and gave us over unto the heathen to be slaves and servants and to be lost. America is known as a wilderness, all right, the shadow of death in the scriptures. And this was the place where you were meant to be oppressed and spoiled. All right, so verse 7, as they were increased, because you were once on a pedestal, you were once the head of every nation, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. So that's where we get now, all right? Your glory has been turned into shame. Now you seeking justice from your enemy, the so-called white man. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. You know, and these people, the elites of this world, they understand who you are. They know that you are the Israelites. And, you know, they strip everything from you. The Lord used them as a weapon to punish you. But you fail to realize that. And you people, you like to bring up Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan and all these other various characters, man, which have led you to error. And the scriptures go into that as well about someone who dreams and has dreams. It's talking about Martin Luther King, man. Jeremiah 23:25. I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yeah, they also prophesy. They are prophets of the seed of their own heart. Meaning they come up with thoughts of their own hearts, all right, of their own mind, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, said the Lord. So you going off a dream off your own thoughts. That shit is vain unto the Lord. But if you speaking the words of the Most High from this book, then these are what really matter. These thoughts and sayings of the Most High are true, and you know, they're not going to leave you astray as a dream would. You see. 29 says, "Is not my word like as a fire," said the Lord, that like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? And that's what this word is doing. This word is breaking this world into pieces. That's why the world is in turmoil as it is now. The Lord is tearing this place down, inside out, and we're seeing the fruits of it. All right, you have uproars of the people. You have, you know, viruses spreading, and this is all because we're preaching His word. All right, and it's prophesied that this was going to happen. All these kingdoms were going to be destroyed by the Most High when He comes back, and He was going to deliver His people, His elect. So the people that you are listening to right now are causing you to err. I'm going to go back to the video and we're going to get some more scriptures.
Very strategic before she came out with the press conference about who she wanted.
Well, people like me, Killer Mike, other artists, creatives, other people who come from our culture, and other people where we can set an example of prosperity. And when everything else goes away, when you don't get treated right in New York, when you don't get treated right in LA, when you can't get treated right in Detroit, when you don't get treated right in St. Louis, when you don't get treated right in Alabama, Atlanta has been here for us. This city don't deserve it. However, I understand that a lot of others do. But we can't do this here. This is Wakanda. It's sacred. It must be protected.
Then the nigga went on to say that this is Wakanda. Damn. Wow, that shows you how destroyed our people are, man. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This was never set up for you to rest, man. This place was set up for you to be destroyed. All right, it says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction. You see? We got to go back to Hosea 4 and 6, man. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou should be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. T.I. is lost. This nigga said, what? Wakanda what? It's a wine there.
However, I understand that a lot of others do. But we can't do this here. This is Wakanda. It's sacred. It must be protected.
This nigga said, this is Wakanda. It's sacred. Must be protected. God. Jeremiah 50 and 6, my people have been lost sheep. He calling Wakanda his own. The shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountain. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. And where is their resting place? Alright, your resting place is first and foremost these scriptures, these laws, statutes, and commandments. But your homeland is actually in Israel. And this nigga talking about some motherfucking Wakanda. Come on, man. That shows you how destroyed your leaders are. It says, verse 7, all that found them have devoured them. Right? And their adversary said, we offend not because they have sinned against the Lord. And that's what these elites are saying. They're saying, look at your people. All right? They out here sinning. They're not following your laws, statutes, and commandments. And they saying that, what? We offend not because your people are sinning against you. And it's because you have been set up by the elites to be disobedient to the Lord's word. This is the place of your captivity. This ain't the first time you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives have been in captivity. All right? It says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversary said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of the justice, even the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, the hope of their fathers. It says, remove out of the midst of Babylon. What is Babylon? That's modern-day America. And go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, which is America, an assembly of great nations from the north country. That's talking about Russia and also China. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. That's talking about nuclear missiles. America is about to be destroyed, man. You people talking about building and seeking justice in America. This place was never set up for you to prosper.
I didn't want to come, and I don't want to be here. I'm the son of an Atlanta City police officer. My cousin is an Atlanta City police officer, and my other cousin, East Point police officer. And I got a lot of love and respect for police officers, down to the original 8 police officers in Atlanta that even after becoming police had to dress in a YMCA because white officers didn't want to get dressed. And here we are 80 years later. I watched a white officer assassinate a black man, and I know that tore your heart out. And I know it's crippling. And I have nothing positive to say in this moment because I don't want to be here. But I'm responsible to be here because it wasn't just Dr. King and people dressed nicely who marched and protested to progress this city and so many other cities.
And there you go again, talking about Martin Luther King. This man has destroyed you people. He has destroyed you people. Jeremiah 4 and 22, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no understanding. And that word sottish means what? Stupid. You stupid. You don't know who your enemy is. You don't know who your leaders are. Your leaders are the prophets, man, the ones that are teaching you, all right, the correct way according to the scriptures. But you have no No clue. All right. Pretty much silence means foolish and stupid. All right. All right. So look what the Lord said, man. My people are foolish and they're stupid, and that's what you see being on display.
Cities. It was people like my grandmother, people like my aunts and uncles who were members of SCLC and NAACP, and in particular, Reverend James Orange, Mrs. Alice Johnson, and Reverend Love, who we just lost last year. So I'm duty bound to be here to simply say that it is your duty not to burn your own house down for anger with an enemy. It is your duty to fortify your own house so that you may be a house of refuge in times of organization. And now is the time to plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize. It is time to beat up prosecutors you don't like at the voting booth. It is time to hold.
He paused right there. Let's get Ecclesiastes, third chapter. Let's see what time it is. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. All right. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. And we're in a time of breaking down so we can build up. America is being broken down, all right, systematically by the Most High, because he's about to destroy it, and then he's going to rebuild, all right, the desolate places after he's done destroying them, and it's going to be peace established on earth. But you people can't see that because you have no vision. It says what? A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love, look, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're not in the time of love and peace. We're in the time of hate and war, all right? In which we're waging war on the so-called white man with the scriptures, right? These scriptures are known as a weapon unto the so-called white man. That's why he kept you from your heritage, to keep you from coming back unto this knowledge, because he understands that once you wake up to who you are, that's the end of his rulership. And the elect have waken up, and we understand what's going on. Meanwhile, you people are lost.
Mayoral offices accountable, chiefs and deputy chiefs. Atlanta is not perfect, but we're a lot better than we ever were, and we're a lot better than cities are. I'm mad as hell. I woke up wanting to see the world burn down yesterday because I'm tired of seeing black men die. He casually put his knee on a human being's neck for 9 minutes as he died like a zebra in the clutch of a lion's jaw. And we watch it like murder porn over and over again. So that's why children are burning to the ground. They don't know what else to do. And it is the responsibility of us to make this better right now. We don't want to see one officer charged. We want to see 4 officers prosecuted and sentenced. We don't want to see targets burning. We want to see the system that sets up for systemic racism burnt to the ground. And as I sit here in Georgia, home of Stevens, Georgia, former vice president of the Confederacy, white man said that fundamental law stated that whites were naturally the superior race, and the Confederacy was built on a cornerstone. It's called a cornerstone speech. Look it up. The cornerstone speech that blacks would always be subordinate. That officer believed that speech because he killed that man like an animal.
See, Esau knows who his enemy is. He knows that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are his number one enemy. Meanwhile, you niggas seeking to find justice from the so-called white man. You the only one that don't know who your enemy is.
In this city, officers have done horrendous things and they have been prosecuted. This city's cut different. In this city, you can find over 50 restaurants owned by black women. I didn't say minority, and I didn't say women of color. So after you burn down your own home, what do you have left but char and ash?
Psalms 106, and, verse 40. And this is why you're in the position that you're in now. All right? It says, therefore was the wrath of the Lord Yahweh kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance. That's why he still calling themselves blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, the so-called white man. And they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. Are not you at the bottom? Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry, and he remembered for them his covenant, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. He made them also be pity of all those that carried them captive. Save us, O Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy name, and to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say, Amen, praise ye the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai. So we understand what's going on, man. The elect have obtained this knowledge, all right, that is written in Romans 11:7. You know, the Lord gave the answers unto his elect. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for. That's talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are seeking for answers. But it says what? But the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So that's why you don't know what's going on. According as it is written, the Most High had given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. And why? It's because you were the children of the ones that probably killed the prophets. Right? The Lord has a controversy with 2/3 of his people, and he's not gonna let them come into the understanding so that they can be healed. But he gave it to his elect, you see. And we understand that we're gonna be saved by our Lord Yahweh Shai. Proverbs 22:23, for the Lord Yahweh by Shem Shai will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them. And who spoiled us? The so-called white man, right? Zechariah 2:6. It says, Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north. We're just talking about America, said the Lord Yahweh, by Shem Shai. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, said the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion. We're just talking about you Israelites that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. And that's talking about America. For thus said the Lord of hosts, after the glory have ye sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you touches the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their service. And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts have sent me. See? Sing and rejoice. That's the comforter. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion. For lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, said the Lord Yahweh by Shem Shai. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. And it's talking about the scattered Israelites, all right, which are Gentiles, all right, that are coming back into the fold. It says, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts have sent me unto thee. You see? So we have the comforter, man. We have the comforter to know what's going on. See? So back to Ecclesiastes 4:1. So I return and consider all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comfort. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comfort. So we have the comfort to know what's going on, And you know, we also understand that this man has to go back into captivity, and we just serve not our punishment for what we did. All right, but that's coming to an end. Revelations 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, and ultimately, this is talking about so-called white man going back into captivity. All right. Because what you people fail to realize is that we're at the end of a rulership. All right. It's the end of the world. Now Esau, according to the Bible, is of course the so-called white man who is in rulership of this current world, which is coming to an end. And next, Jacob is going to be the ruler of the next world, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? The Israelites. And so this is the comfort that comes with the scriptures, to understand that the oppression of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives, the Israelites, are going to be put to an end. And we're going to be the rulers of the next world, and we're going to rule over the heathen, the so-called white man. We're going to put him back in slavery, and he's going to repay everything that he has done unto us. All right, so with that, Lord willing, it was edifying. Until next time, shalom.